Okay, today's the day. Today's the day we are going to be talking about the TS312 from Alto. This is their 2000 watt, 12-inch powered speaker. We're going to cover all the features on it from the back to front. We're going to give it a test drive. We're going to set it up 24 feet away from the camera, and we're going to set it up at 12 o'clock on the volume knob and see what that puppy sounds like. It's going to be tight. It's going to be awesome. That's what the 12-inch is all about. That's why everybody wants it. That's why it's probably going to be their best seller out of their line. They're all great. This is probably the one that above the rest. Okay, so outside of that, we're going to take it to the table. We're going to look at all the features on the backside, and then we're going to figure out who is going to want to actually have the speaker. I mean, it comes down to everybody, but we'll go through that list. So, without ado, pièce résistance. We're going to do a sound test next. All right, so we're about to set up for our actual live sound test, but I wanted to show you something that we're actually going to be using today. For the first time, we are going to use something that we've sold dozens and dozens of. It's the Alto Total Bluetooth system. Now, it's a 4.2 Bluetooth. It has a 3-pin XLR connection to it. What this does is plug straight into the actual back of the speaker, and it's going to allow me to Bluetooth right to it. Now, 4.2 basically says no compression audio, so no loss. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for a DJ because it does have a delay, but it's something you're not going to notice if you're streaming from your phone. So we're going to pop this in there, and we're going to get our sound from here and see how this works out. Also, it has a button on it called Stereo Link. Now, if you had two of these on two speakers and you pressed that button at the bottom, you'd be able to sync up two speakers together and actually have it work at the same time. So even though your phone can only go to the first speaker, as long as you've got this in the first and you've got this in the second, it's going to carry to both speakers. It's that simple. It's that easy. So it's rechargeable, works 50 plus hours. I don't think I can say any more. We're going to take it now. We're going to bring it over there. We're going to plug it into the speaker. We're going to pair it off to the phone, and we're going to do a live sound test of the actual speaker. All right. Okay, so we've got the TS312 set up all the way back here, 24 feet plus. Set up here, and if we look at the back, I know you probably can't see it from there, but we've got the total sticking out of the back. I've turned the gain down on the actual camera, so this way we can turn it up. So now we're connected Bluetooth version 4.2. I'm going to start the phone. We're going to hit the play, and we'll be all set. Now I did turn the gain down on the camera, so this way we can hear this. Okay, that's pretty loud. So again, 12-inch, 2,000 watt, 1,000 continuous. We've got the contour set on. We've got the line level set up. It's about as easy as a sound test is going to go. We're going to take it now from here to the table, and we'll cover all the features on the back. All right, so here we go. We brought it over to the table so we can take a closer look at it, closer look at the back side of it, see how the handles are set up, see how everything works on the speaker. So, a few pounds more than the previous model, but we've added that, and we've also added another 900 watts to the whole system. We went from 1,100 watts to 2,000 watts. So we've got a continuous, though, of 1,000, which compared to before is almost twice the 550 it used to be. So we've got our name badge at the bottom. We've got a little light here. We've got the name tag at the top telling us that it's a TS312, and then it's 2,000 watts and it's 12-inch speaker. Important part is you're going to peel that off and then give this a tap. It is solid. It is very, very solid. You're not going to get any background noise, any vibration noise out of this grill. It's got a dampening screen behind it, which is incredible. It's nice to have all these little features. They've upgraded the woofer on it. They've upgraded the horn to make sure that we're not just going to put more power on the back. We're actually going to have something rubber to the road, as they say. Make something so we can actually get some big sound out of it, and it lasts. Gets warm, doesn't get hot, doesn't smell, doesn't have that burning sensation. I've had this thing on several times at heavy volumes for long periods for customer demos and for setups, and we've had absolutely zero issues with it so far, so that's great. That's all, you know, Phillips screwdriver, takes the whole amp plate off if you ever need to, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Behind the power cord here is where the actual fuse lies. Nice part I always like to mention, ETL certificate. That means it's safe. and it's been inspected by a third-party company, which is a big plus. What we've got sticking out here, we'll pull this out and we'll cover this in a second. This was the actual Bluetooth total that we use, and it doesn't just get used on the Alto products, though Alto would love to have this, go with this all the time. It works on any speaker with a 3-pin XLR connection. So, covering on the features, fly-by-wire on top. We've got 2 connections on the back. We've got one in the back so you can hang it up, depending if you're setting it up in a bar. Great way to have that. Handles at the top and the bottom. Thank God for that. Makes it so much easier to get on and off of things. And handles on both sides. So we're not just looking at a handle on one side. So if you're left-handed or right-handed, or if you've got to carry both of them out, you can do both of them at the same time. That's what it's all about. Now, one of the big features that I really like, and a lot of new speakers are doing this, but you really have to have a solid product to start off with. And then this, what's going on here, works really, really well. 12 inches, awesome for this. It just adds to the density of the material. We've got molded right into it a lot of angles, and I've mentioned it in other videos, but I'll mention it again. It's kind of like trusses on a building or a bridge. If we're not going to put a ton of wood in the box and make it weigh 85 pounds or more, we want to have something that's solid. What we do is we put in angles in it. You can't get this material to budge now. It's not just trying to work the casing, it has to distort all of this, and it just can't. It's impossible. It would have to break itself to come apart, and that's not going to happen. So, built-in sturdy handle, good grip on the back side, so if you've had a long day, you're not going to drop your speaker. So that's really, really a big plus of that. So, let's take a look at the back here a little bit more in detail and what we're actually seeing. So, we've got 2 inputs that are combo inputs, 1/4 inch and XLR. Built in, so it doesn't matter what type of cable we're going to have on our microphone or our audio equipment. We can just plug into here. We've got a mix out, so this we're going to hook up to another speaker or other equipment built in right here. Now, they did change this a little bit from last year, which I really like, is they give me, instead of saying, oh, this is where you can go with the actual line level and this is where you can go with the mic level, they really indicate that really, really well up here. So yes, I have my 12 o'clock, but I can go at least until it says 2 o'clock on my line level, which is, and they're putting that in the safe zone. As long as it's not distorting, you can pump it that way and you're going to get big volume out of this guy, which is what we like to do to impress. We tell people, we demo it at 12 o'clock, and then once they're really impressed, we give them a little bit more and we say, look at this, we can actually go to here, and it doubles out the volume of the thing. So that's really, really a good way to go with this. So that's how that works up there. Straightforward. Again, you got your contour, which will drop your mid-range on it a bit, so this way you can modify your sound just by hitting that button. Definitely changes the output of the whole speaker, especially if you're at lower volumes and you really want to punch it up a bit, or if you're doing vocals and you have it up close and you want to tweak that a little bit, you just hit that button there. Then you've got your ground, and basically, depending on the brands that sometimes some brands don't like being plugged into other brands, sometimes some equipment doesn't like to be plugged into other equipment, and that's a grounding issue. It's not one's good, one's bad, this, that, or the other thing. It's just the way it's been wired and grounded. If you have a hum or a buzz, usually by pressing this button, it changes the actual configuration of the ground, and it goes away. That's what that button's there for. There's no right or wrong way, just one. If you end up with noise, the other way will probably take it away. If not, then you've got bigger issues, and that's another discussion for another day. So, can I say anything else about it? Yes, it is pole mounted. We've got the pole in the back. It does have a tension screw on it. So when I say tension, it means finger tight. Don't try killing it, because I mean, it's not like you're hanging the speaker upside down by the pole. It's just enough to stop from spinning and vibrating on the actual pole. They do make covers available for it, so this way you can drop it into a nice jacket. The covers, they basically just recycled what they had before, because there was nothing wrong with the cover. It was a nice padded cover. It's the package. It's usually called the Cover TS312 cover from Alto, and you'll get a nice branding name on it. Something really good to put together on it. Outside of that, not much more to cover when it comes to features and benefits. I mean, they do talk a lot about their tweeter and their horn on this and the driver on the unit. And like I said, it comes down to sound quality. Definitely a big upgrade. It did sound good before. It's just louder and good now. So, I mean, that's what it's all about. So, we'll leave it at that. We'll take a moment and we'll come back and we'll talk about the who should use it and where and all that kind of good stuff. Talk to you in a bit. Okay, so we've covered the tech, we've listened to it, we've got an intro to it. Now the most important part, is this the right speaker for you? Now, if you're looking for DJing, which I always tell a lot of people, oh no, this is not for DJing. There you go, here you go. You've got something that is. Definitely, if you have a couple of these, maybe you have subs, it's a great combination. I mean, it's something you start off with. It's something that's going to get you in the, let's say, 50 to 125 group. I mean, you can definitely put on a show with this. That's not a bad thing. You can probably do a little bit more. It depends on the music you're going to be playing, but definitely something you want to listen to and have as part of your portfolio. Now, the nice thing is that if you start with something like this and then you grow, you can always get into something bigger later on and always have this for that size show. So that's a big plus. Now, outside of that, bands. If you're doing gigs where you're doing a, rock or jazz or anything like that, and you're in the medium volume class, but you want to carry a room that's got 50 to 75 people, a bar, a pub, something like that, a couple of these will definitely do you for. If you're doing anything bigger, maybe you might want to look at the next step up just for volume of space, because the volume of sound is going to be the same. It's just filling in that bigger area. Outside of that, if you've got a large church, depending on the type of church it is, you're going to look at something like this for sure. If you've got lots of singing going on and you want to fill the room, this is definitely what you're looking for. If you're looking for a PA system for a school gymnasium and you're saying I need 2, maybe 4, again, this is a perfect speaker to fill that kind of space. The fly-by-wire system, you can hang it off the ceiling, you can get it on brackets for the walls. It's really going to fill a lot of niches, which is probably why it's going to be one of their most popular speakers. Now, there's all kinds of great ways to use it. Again, if you have a bar or a pub and you're setting up your own system, I would probably put a whole bunch of these in there, because then as you have bands coming in, you just have music play for the weekends, that sort of thing, you can run it all off of this type of speaker. It's really a workhorse when it comes to getting the job done. You set it and leave it, hook it up to whatever you have. It's a controller or a mixer, no problem. Or like we did here, the Bluetooth Total from Alto to give us a wireless option. That's how they're working it now. It's great, it's smart, it's easy to use, and like I said, you can have 2 speakers hooked up with just by buying 2 of the Alto Totals. Volume level is going to be great. You don't have to run it full tilt if you're using it in a rec room for a karaoke system or in the garage for a band. I mean, either way, it's going to work out really well. It's built to be used as a monitor as well. So if you really want a big, powerful monitor in front of you, that's a great way. I've got guys who do use it on bass guitars. They've tried it out with their... It's just that versatile. Now, it's redundant, but if you're trying to get your microphone and everything hooked up into one system, so you're carrying around one speaker, it's a great way to give it a try. You probably enjoy it a lot and thinking, I don't have to carry 2 pieces around with me. So, all that said, I think that gives us a good idea of who's going to want it. If there's anybody who's got any more questions or comments about what we're doing here on the video itself or on this particular speaker, just leave them down below, and I'll try and get back to you on any of those comments or questions. And if you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up. That always helps us. And subscribe. And if you haven't, if you have, sorry, thank you very much. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye now.